Serves as an adjunct professor at the John Paul II Institute, where she is completing work on her doctorate degree. She has received the BA and MA at Newman College, Cambridge, and the STL from John Paul II Institute. For those of you who don't know these initials, that's a degree in theology. She has had 12 years of experience as an international lecturer and consultant in both ecclesial and public programs on natural family planning, also on marriage and on the family. Mrs. Shivanandan has also served as the contributing editor of Marriage and Family Living, and she is the founding editor of the Natural Family Planning Reader. Her publications include Natural Sex, which has been reprinted under the title Challenge to Love, and most recently, an article in America magazine entitled Blessings of Fertility. Mary lives in Bethesda, Maryland, with her astrophysicist husband, Connie, and she's a mother and a grandmother. Please help me welcome Dr. Shivanandan.
Thank you very much, Mary Ellen, and thank you for anticipating my doctoral degree, which I hope to have next June. I want also to thank Father Cusik for organizing this wonderful conference and for keeping us so well nourished and taken care of. And one more thanks. I would like to thank Pat May. We hear so much about dissenting feminist theologians, and many faithful women who have acquired influence in support of the encyclical are not usually given the credit they deserve, as Pat was so graciously today. Well, my talk today is entitled Humanae Vitae, Challenge to True Liberation. It is an amazing document, and every time I read the encyclical, I find new truths in it. Well, today I shall concentrate on just 4 freedoms that are enshrined in Humanae Vitae. The freedom to be whole and wholly accepted. The freedom for and in parenthood. Freedom from adverse consequences of contraception, and freedom through self-mastery. Now let us begin with the first, the freedom to be whole and be wholly accepted. There are 2 aspects to this. First, the question of procreation, which affects the whole person, and secondly, the conjugal relationship, which bears on all dimensions of the life of the couple. Paul VI addressed the first in section 7 of the encyclical, and the conjugal relationship in sections 8 and 9. To the quote at the beginning of section 7. The question of the propagation of offspring must be considered completely beyond those separate aspects, biological, psychological, demographic, sociological. It must be considered in such a way that it encompasses the whole man and the total function to which man is called, which pertains not only to the natural and the earthly, but to the supernatural and eternal. Paul VI mentions particular sciences, the biological, psychological, demographic, and sociological, because they have been at the forefront of the attack on the human person through contraception. Take demography, or the science of population. Margaret Sanger made a deliberate decision to ally the birth control movement with the eugenic movement. And one of the major tools of the eugenists was demography. Sanger laid out the problem the American Birth Control League was founded for as follows. The complex problems now confronting America as a result of the practice of reckless procreation are fast threatening to grow beyond human control. And again, everywhere we see poverty and large families going hand in hand, those least fit to carry on the race are increasing most rapidly. In the pivot of civilization, her manifesto on birth control, she wrote, "At the present time, civilized nations are penalizing talent and genius, the bearers of the torch of civilization, to coddle and perpetuate the choking human undergrowth." This book was first published in 1922 and it was reprinted in 1969. A major goal of the book was, quote, "to appeal to the scientists for aid, to arouse that interest which will result in widespread research and investigation." Sana was primarily interested in the biological sciences to produce the perfect contraceptive, and she was also interested in demography. Now, the science of demography originated with the infamous Thomas Robert Malthus, who first propounded the notion of overpopulation in 1798. The neo-Malthusians, such as Francis Place, 1822, combined the idea of contraception with the population question. And in the early 20th century, the birth control movement in England made extensive propaganda use of demographic research. Margaret Sanger went to England early in her career and returned, determined to set up a research arm for her clinic work, which later became the Alan Guttmacher Institute. This institute is still a major force in demographic studies in support of contraception. Now, why has demography been such a powerful tool in the hands of the population control movement? Surely it is good to have information on population characteristics. Demographic studies were undertaken with the specific purpose of social manipulation. As Kurt Back notes in his book, Family Planning and Population Control, Challenge of a Successful Movement, understanding can lead to intervention, and it has led to intervention on a massive scale, beginning with the experiments in Puerto Rico and Jamaica, which became laboratories in the 1950s and 1960s for developing effective contraceptive programs.